if you mean the nightlife, especially in Copenhagen, I would say that on a Friday evening, I would say 90% are drunk. Consent culture. No, one thing, doing the party life in Denmark, it's Danes are famous for drinking a lot of alcohol. So that's really a big part of the nightlife, actually.
Yeah.
Maybe for good and bad, you know.
I think Danish drinking culture is very extreme.
Really? Do you think so?
Well, maybe not very, but it is a big part of being Danish and being young.
I like it. It's a lot different from the US. I like how it's a lot more personal. You have a lot more conversations. It's not just in the US, like in a frat basement, just getting as drunk as you can to loud music. It's a lot more personal. You have conversations with people and you know them more.
I think it's also like a Danish thing to be more comfortable when they have like a drink with them. Actually, that's like one of the things I learned when I first came to Denmark. I had like a class on like dating culture in Denmark, in which they say like, oh, they need a drink to open up, so just like come to a bar and you would have way more luck in there. That's what they said.
What it basically means is that during parties we have Danes, at least Danes or people in general all over the world, have a hard time not socializing without alcohol. Yeah.
Oh, having a hard time. Yeah.
Yeah.
They go out until like 6 or 7 in the morning, which is unheard of in the United States, and it's very normal for them to do so. And also it's kind of interesting how you see 16-year-olds just like legally drinking, and you see people on the streets drinking all the time. I think that's the biggest difference.
I think girls expect that as well.
When you are drinking, you get more spontaneous, and that means, I think, if there are an interest between two people, they really have to be more direct about it, and they are more direct about it.
I mean, if I meet a random girl at a bar and we make out at the bar and we decide to go home to her place in the night, yeah.
Would you be, not necessarily you, but like, is it weird if she were to be like, no, I don't want to have sex?
I mean, why would she bring him home to his house then?
If she didn't want to have sex?
Then she wouldn't let him into the house.
If you go home with someone, if you leave, say, a bar or something, then it's assumed that you're giving up consent.
Basically, just by going home with them, you're consenting. Even if there's like drugs and alcohol involved, which I think is kind of weird, because how can you like give like conscious consent if you're not really like, not if you're not conscious, but if you're not fully aware of your situation.
But still, like, there's like that pre-existing trust system going on, in the sense that, you know, like in the US, like consent is like a thing, and when you like come to a stranger and you make out with them in a bar, and even when they like take you to their place or whatever, like if you say no, it's gonna be a no. But in Denmark, usually when you agree to let a stranger like take you to their place, it's like saying yes, and then it's uncommon for people to refuse sex.
Maybe not imply that, we're gonna have sex now, but it implies there's some kind of interest.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
but doesn't it always do that? You wouldn't go home with someone that you are not interested in.
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't say it necessarily means sexually interested in, but usually doing literally just saying, hey, should we hook up? Yes, let's do it, then walking home.
Yeah, so it's not gonna happen like that in Denmark, right?
Not that
So
often.
you mean that in
what about people on Tinder?
Yeah,
I think there is a little bit of Tinder dating. It's the only kind of thing on there.
Tinder was first created as, you know, as something people use to hook up. with each other, if that really matters. But now, like, people are using Tinder for many different purposes, and if you say you're going out with a stranger, it really doesn't mean that you have to hook up with them.
Yeah.
At least not even in Europe, maybe not even in Scandinavia. So I guess the rape culture is pretty low in Denmark, but I actually don't know.
Have you seen like situations where maybe like people have gone home and it's been maybe like a blurred line at all?
Well, people under 18 are not allowed in bars, so you kind of know what you're like dealing with. Like, so nobody under 18 is gonna be raped or anything like that without knowing stuff. Yeah, but what was the question again?
With Denmark, 500 cases are reported each year, but actually 5,000 to 10,000 rapes occur in Denmark each year, but they aren't only 500 are reported because a lot of them are either swept under the police department or the police don't take it seriously, and the hospital said it's like very hard to work with the police when it comes to rape because it's hard to believe, and that in Finland, when a person is raped, they have like 5,000 rapes a year that are reported, but it's accounts, which means that like if a girl gets raped by a guy and he rapes that girl 5 times in like an hour, that counts as 5 different reports, so their numbers are higher.
I don't understand.
But I don't know anybody who have been raped, so that's why I haven't.
And I've never even heard a friend
about it.
tell about a friend being raped. Or never, only seen it on the news, you know. Never really heard about anything on high school.
But of course, if you were like,
I know a few people, but
if you were here and we heard that some of the students here got raped, then of course maybe we would talk more about it, and we would also be more like
cautious about it.
Yeah, we'll be more cautious about it when we're having a party and you are walking around, you know.
So what they need to do is they need to make some new statistics where they put the same formula for and the same definition of rape up, and then they take the cross-sectional data and then they
So
see.
you think there should be a universal definition of rape?
I don't know. They don't have to be. It's just if they want to make universal statistics on rape, they need to have a universal definition. That's the problem, as far as I know, with the rape culture debate, because nobody actually knows what they're talking about.
It's like, just if I were to give any personal advice to anyone who's like willing to try like dating culture or hookup culture or nightlife in different cultures, like I could definitely say first thing that you have to be aware of the differences in these cultures and like the potential of you getting into something with someone else. So definitely like know the culture, like know yourself, know how much you can bring in different contexts, be aware, like be mindful of your surroundings and all, and then at the same time like know the extent of, you know, your comfort. Like you shouldn't go way out of your comfort zone. You shouldn't like
Before you losing yourself.
Yeah. It's just like the idea that like someone can explore their sexuality and that is perfectly okay, but it doesn't mean that they have to do things that they don't want to do.